Yo, what's good? Welcome to another episode of Post on the Block podcast. We cover all things blockchain, metaverse, NFTs, all making money opportunities in the space. I'm your host, Stu. I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves one by one.
It's good, y'all. Professor J here, coming from New York. Just giving the game on the crypto blockchain space.
What up? It's your boy Shades tapping in from Florida.
Hey, it's your girl Z, the DeFi Tycoon, tapping in from everywhere, Web3.
What's good? It's your girl Crypto K, tapping in from Cali. Let's go.
All right, cool. I know just for like today's topic, I know we was covering like how to survive like a bear market. Just with the current climate or just how crypto is going. We're in that currently, and just knowing how long we're actually going to be in this. But just for people listening, what's y'all's first like initial tips for just surviving if this is their first like bear market and they've never really been a part of like a bull cycle or anything like that? What's y'all's like first initial tips?
Don't panic. Just learn how to leverage assets. If you're not used to reading charts and learning how to trade or day trade, just hold your assets and wait for the bull run to come around. I wouldn't don't try and day trade. That's just gonna be more risky, and that's how you mess around and get wrecked if you don't know what you're doing. But if you know that you hold what you're holding is something long term, just continue holding it. Markets go down and they go up. It's just how markets go. So don't panic.
I say the same shit. Don't panic. It's okay to not do nothing. You know what I mean? Like, don't feel like you always gotta be fucking buying NFTs or buying crypto. I mean, of course you might want to be DCAing into your you could call them your favorites right now. But other than that, like Z was saying, don't panic. Just hold it down, decide to chill and just see what's going on before you make another move.
Yeah, I would say like for me, I would just say for absolute like beginners and things, this is a chance to like really just hone and brush up on your knowledge as far as getting a really fundamental understanding of blockchains and like cryptocurrencies and like what you're actually invested in. And this is just a time to just like really learn, develop like your analysis to the point to where I want to get in at this price, and then at this price I want to leave. So just having entry and exit points, and like I said, just having like fundamental analysis as far as just studying projects and really getting into whatever you're invested in. So if you're investing in in XRP, then just learn everything there is to know about XRP and like the fast transaction speeds and how they're associated with banks, and just like the ins and outs of XRP and everything they have to offer. So it's just that will allow you to just make even better decisions once you get into like a bull cycle. So I would just say, just for starters, just brush up and just this is your time to really hone in and just to dive into learn and just to learn everything you can about the space. That way, it'll be in preparation for a bull cycle because you don't want to try to get yourself together once everything is pumping, it's moving. That's the time to let your investments ride the wave up until you're ready to cash out, until you're ready to get out of the exit point. So I say brush up on your knowledge. It'd be the first initial thing I would say.
Yeah, I definitely agree with everything Olia said, especially Stu. I think doubling down on your education on the space. No matter what you're looking at, even if it's different blockchains or if it's going to be a specific blockchain you're looking at, or if you're into play to earn, or if you're into DeFi. So whatever you're into, I think doubling down on your knowledge and education, seeing how these things actually work. Because I mean, most folks don't. I mean, I was reading an article the other day. I think it said like something like 90% of people don't read white papers. So it's like this is the time you probably want to be reading those white papers, or digging into those discords and understanding those roadmaps and actually seeing if the potential of if these projects can do what they say they can do, or maybe understanding like the time frames that of what they're proposing how long they might take to come out. But yeah, definitely doubling down on education. And like Shay said, it's okay to like not do anything as far as like not buying stuff. I think you just holding out, waiting for maybe even confirmation. You don't have to catch the bottom, but waiting for some confirmation that the market is making a turn. I think that's also a good idea for surviving a bear market. So somebody else had another one, tip for any
Okay, you
movies
got
coming
something
in.
you wanted to add?
Okay, you had
I feel
anything?
like you guys went ahead and covered everything on that one. Don't My advice would be don't panic sell and don't panic buy. Do your research, find out, maybe figure out, if it's the bear market, do what's the opposite. Figure out what you're gonna do when the bull run comes around, and vice versa. That would be my only suggestion during this time, especially if you're not gonna be accumulating.
Realistically, on like the current like bear market conditions, like what's y'all's thoughts about like how long do y'all really think we're going to be in this bear market? Do you think it's going to be months or like a number of years till we get out of this? Like, what's y'all's personal thoughts as far as the cycle we're in? How long do y'all think we're ultimately going to be in this downward spiral or trend till we do move up? Like, what's y'all's initial, like, what do y'all think in terms of that?
You can really never tell how long it will last. This isn't my first go around. So, I mean, with everything else that's going on, it's really, really hard to tell and hard to call something like this. Um, my thing is just prepare for the worst. Be prepared for the worst. Get all of your coins and everything like that for these markets. Look into getting ledgers and things of that such, especially for your crypto.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, we can, like she said, we can never tell. We can't tell. We don't know if we already hit a bottom when Bitcoin, jumped under 20,000, and we don't know if it can go even lower. We don't know how long it could be. But for folks that have been through a couple cycles, I've been going through one. But if you just look at Bitcoin, going back, even back to like 2013 with the cycles that we've had. Like we had a couple, little few bear markets, and like the most recent one we had going back from the peak of the end of 2017 all the way to we could say about 2019, and then the start of that little run. It lasted for about a year and some change from like the all time high to when it started, to when it hit its low and kind of just leveled off for a little while. And then if you go back before that, I mean you might hear some clicks. I'm on a chart. If you go back before that, that was between about 2013 to 2014, that lasted, about that whole year and a little bit more if you decide to, look at it from the time it started taking off to the start of his next bear run. I mean, bull market. So, I mean, if you look at that time frame, it was almost about 2 years that we was in that little bear market. So I mean, just not having having some high expectations of us, like just going back up right away, or just understanding that like we've been in multiple bear markets for a year and greater. So just not just having that, paying that in mind that we could, possibly go back to do the same thing we've done before, or we could this that could have been the bottom and we just working our way up slowly right now. So no one does know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, I agree with everybody. At the end of the day, you're gonna see a lot of predictions based on everyone's own technical analysis and technical analysis, and everyone's own way that they read the market. Um, like at the end of the day, like Bitcoin had support around like 31,000, and it lost that support as soon as the one of those tether coins depegged. So it's just like you can't predict the market a lot of times because you can't predict outside factors as well too. No one was going. I mean, of course, some people most people predicted that these some of these tether coins are going to depeg because they weren't supported enough with whatever was backing them with their tokenomics. But we don't know when it's going to happen. And at this point, within the past, I guess 2 months, about three coins, maybe more, at least three of the tether coins have been depegged. And that happened again, and we lost support and tanked even more to where we're at now. So it's just like anything can happen between now and whatever, and we lose support again. And the reason why I refer to Bitcoin is because a lot of I don't want to say most of the market is pegged to Bitcoin, but it's just like more so Bitcoin, a lot of them follow Bitcoin's trend. So if Bitcoin is tanking, a lot of most coins on the market. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just like Bitcoin is a good way to gauge, but don't follow it all the time. Make sure you know how to read whatever your investments are. And that's why it's also important to make sure you're not investing in like 50 different coins. Keep it limited. Five is enough to sit there and build a nice bag and for you to focus on. So that too.
Yeah, Bitcoin is king, so they definitely gonna be following the
Yeah,
king.
yeah. I just think I know I've said this like probably previous times, but just and other people said it too. Just in terms of don't let people sway you as far as the titles that you see on a YouTube or a headline that be like, yeah, we're headed like 120% bullish and like we're about to go up to a bull cycle at this on July 12th, like at 5 p.m., like on a Monday. Like, don't let it like sway you to that point just because like ultimately people can go by the charts and everything, but just like as Bitcoin just evolves, like it's gonna be less and less of that. I feel like it's just more so important to be like, this is what I'm getting in, and this is what I'm getting out. Irregardless of the cycle and all that, I feel like that's the most important thing to have. That way, you're not as swayed or not letting your emotions or whatever, or just like, damn, the market's down today, or whatever, X, Y, and Z, panicking, what do I do, and just stressing about the markets and looking at your phone 20 times a day. I'm saying having like an exit plan as far as no matter what, I'm going to at this price. I feel like it's important to have that because that's what's going to like ground you in this type of cycle to where you're not gonna be swayed by all these headlines or everything because you got your own personal plan and your objective of how you're gonna get your money and your cash and ultimately cash out. I feel like that's just important to have during this. So just coming up with your plan. I reiterated before, and then also I just wanted to touch. I know it's kind of getting to like security and that and everything, but Kay had mentioned like getting a ledger and like having your crypto assets, especially as you begin to invest more, but just paying attention to these exchanges, like where you have your crypto actually stored, because there was an issue that happened with Celsius to where they was putting funds of basically it's like a liquidity and getting APY, but now those funds are like dried up and now people's accounts are frozen. They can't even get their money out. So the money and people invested over not just like, couple $100, $500, they invested over like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000, upwards to like six figures in just one account. So I would say just even with these exchanges and where you have your crypto stored on, I would say spread that crypto out. As far as don't have all your crypto on one platform. That's just very important. Just because if you do that, you're liable to just have your accounts frozen and just pay attention to those exchanges. Pay attention to what Coinbase is doing, what Crypto.com is doing, what Voyager, Gemini, or whatever app that you choose, whatever exchange that you choose. That when you're buying crypto on your phone, pay attention. Watch the Twitter timeline. Are they letting go of employees? It's something shaky happening because like you might need to pull your money out or transfer it to like your wallet or just somewhere at any moment's notice because you don't know like how bad the bear market can actually get. People, I mean, it was already a situation that happened with Celsius, so I just wanted to say that just to let people know that like it's no guarantees out here. Like people are fighting for like a decentralized way of doing things. Well, this is what comes with it when it is decentralized. Truly,
100%. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, G.
Nah, I was just gonna say, like in the beginning, I wholeheartedly agree with Stu. In the beginning, what you said, like I want to stress the importance of do not pocket watch. Stop watching what other people are making and what they're doing. Focus on what your goals are, your entrance and your exit plans, and focus on it. Because if you were sitting there, your goal is to make $5,000, and you're happy with that, and that's what you need or what you're satisfied with, and then you go see somebody make like 20,000. You was okay with that 5,000 until you saw that 20,000. Don't pocket watch. Focus
Facts.
on your own goals and keep it pushing, because you're never going to be satisfied if you're always watching what somebody else is making. Focus on what you're doing so that you can be satisfied and continue to build your bag and keep doing on that. Because if you don't have a plan, a real plan, you're going to always, that's just a plan for you to get wrecked. Having no plan is a plan to get wrecked. And that's it. Sorry.
No, I definitely agree with that. I was also wanting to say, you might see a lot of sayings out there like, millionaires are made in a bull market and billionaires are made in a bear market or whatever. Like I think that's this is the times a lot of people need to be focused in, because these are the times that most people are probably scared and running. But I think this if you're investing now and at least in the right places, or you know I think you definitely will be in good shape down the road for when that bull run comes. And I think right now is most important to I think your most important tool in this bear market is your income. Um, I think your income and just being able to have some money, cash, pretty much to play with, and to put it in the right places to prepare yourself for this next run, and just for the cycle and the whole. I think this is where you're looking for overtime at your job, or looking for an additional gig, et cetera, et cetera. If you really want to do well in this next cycle, I think this is where you doubling down on investing. Even if that's just investing in blue chips, um, and you got maybe small allocations of your portfolio and some of the more micro cap projects, or whatever. Again, this is where you want to really just prepare yourself properly for that market, and even just like with your education, learning about different strategies. Most people come into the space, they just come in and they invest for capital gains, which pretty much means like they just hope the price of whatever they bought goes up. And maybe you take the time to understand what DeFi is, with staking and farming and harvesting, and LP tokens and impermanent loss and all that stuff. That's a whole nother field that maybe learning about that. And there's money in it now in the bear market without doing anything too fancy. But learning about that, so when the bull run comes, and understanding that when the masses come, and you might be able to definitely help someone in that space, and maybe monetize that. Um, or even if that's going to be just deeper into NFTs and how they work, or you decide maybe you wanted to change your career. There's so many different options. But I think that, again, income is is your number one important tool, useful tool for this bear market, and think to help you survive.
yeah, for sure, I agree. I know, Kay, you say you believe you had something you wanted to mention too as well. On this, mute.
I know. I wanted to share with everybody, kind of banking off a little bit of what you were talking about earlier when we mentioned the ledger and making sure that you have control over your assets, and you know where your assets are and what's going on with these brokerage firms, or with these firms, period, like Coinbase, Robinhood. For instance, they're crashing really bad. Coinbase, Robinhood too. Robinhood actually might even be up for grabs to be sold. There's a billionaire. What's his name? Bankman, I believe. He's considering the possibility of even buying Robinhood right now from FTX. I'm not sure if you guys heard of that.
Oh, I thought FTX was trying to buy Robinhood, or they.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, he's the billionaire that is over or owns it, or CEO that owns majority of FTX.
Mm.
He's
okay.
looking to make some deals and trying to see if he can tackle that one and bring that home. So Robinhood, Coinbase, they're having a hard time getting the money out to people that they owe.
Yeah.
So both of them are struggling right now.
Robin Hood played their stuff. That's why they should have been had their crypto launched.
Yeah. And crypto.com, I believe they are removing like 15 cryptocurrencies from their reward program. Dogecoin,
Yeah,
Shiba Inu,
shady.
and
Yeah.
Tez are definitely on the list, and they are, as of Monday, they announced that they're removing those along with I think like 12 others.
Did they say
So
why?
they did not say why.
They
Mm.
probably getting in trouble by SEC and securities. I always thought crypto.com was moving a little fast with the stuff they offer, because if you notice, a lot of stuff they offer ain't really allowed in the U.S.
Mm.
And it's in the crypto space, you see nothing but copycats, so, and that's why you don't have that. You don't see a lot of copycats with them unless it's pretty much DeFi, and they try to play both parts, which because they do have crypto.com and they have like the Chronos chain, which you could do pretty much everything that they do on crypto.com, but on Chronos chain is a little more riskier. But I figured allowing it open to almost everybody, because we can't use it here in New York, and I think maybe a couple other states. Um, I figured people already sensed that they were going to probably be getting looked at, especially with all the cryptos that they allow you to stake and earn income on.
Mm.
Surprised they lasted this long, actually.
So make sure you have a ledger. Make sure you control and hold your coins. If you do not hold them, they are not yours. You do not have access to them. If these companies decide to freeze everything up, or if they go out of business, business deals go bad, uh, it's out of your control. You pretty much got to wait until they come back up and they start functioning and running, for you to get your assets off of there. So that's my number one thing. I always tell people, make sure you have a ledger of some sort, hard wallet, where you can make sure you hold your assets, your coins.
And for those of y'all think that that's not possible and it won't happen, it already happened. It happened with XRP. XRP, even with on Coinbase. Coinbase is just one of the exchanges that was able to exchange XRP, but then because of the SEC lawsuit, they pretty much locked it. If you kept it, they gave you the warning to remove it that they not gonna make it tradable. So if you left your XRP on Coinbase, it's locked until this lawsuit is over, or if it's ever over and they're allowed to allows us to trade it here in the US. I'm telling you this right now because my XRP is locked on Coinbase right now because
Oh, nah.
no better. But I have more XRP in other wallets, but some it's just some of it. It's a small amount, but it's a couple hundred. But it's still
Yeah. Yeah, let that be a lesson to everybody. Make sure you get all of your stuff, even during times like this, especially during times like this. This is really when you learn those hard lessons. So we're just trying to warn you ahead of time. Make sure you don't make the same mistakes that we made, and you can come into this game with a little bit more knowledge than we had when we started.
facts. Because
Sure.
the advice we all giving y'all is not like something we read up on or something. It's literally from our own experience.
Yep.
Yeah, it's that and like stuff that we've seen in real time. Like I feel like sometimes it's just like the mentality with getting into crypto is just like, okay, I want to get rich. I want to quit my 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Cool. That's fine. That's fine. But there it's not as simple as, oh, I just throw X amount of dollars and then now I'm rich. There's so many other steps that go into that.
Sure.
And just a level of consistency of keeping up with that is just like most people don't want to do that. And then when they get into like a situation, okay, like my account is frozen or I can't get my funds out. Well, like, have you been looking at how you've been like checking on your investments, like actually be invested into your investment? Like, I feel like you have to like be like that, just in my opinion. Now, my word is not law, but I'm just saying, in my opinion, I think you have to be like that because if you're not, you're just liably opening yourself up for just a slew of circumstances that happen that you're not unfamiliar with, just because you're just coming in, just be like, okay, just let me throw a slab of money at it and then like hope for the best. Like, no, like get involved, like get into the culture of cryptocurrency and like go beyond just like money and like how it's gonna like change this world. I just felt like I said before, this is the time to hone in on that and to keep up with things like that, because if it's gonna be a mentality where like I throw some money at it and then I come back and check 6 months later, you don't know that the coin that you invested in might be the next XRP going into their lawsuit, and then that 6 months of throwing money at something is now locked, and then you don't know when you can get those funds out. It's because you had the mentality of just like I'm gonna throw money at it and then I'll check on it whenever. Well, that's fine. Then your money's gonna come back to you whenever. Like,
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. That's a great point. Because and not saying any of y'all that own XRP, but I think a lot of people went in, even with stuff like XRP, Terra Luna, or putting money on Celsius. These platforms or these coins, like, there's if you into the space, or you definitely been following, um, XRP, that happened a while ago, so you really had to be deep into the space. You're hearing the echoes out there of, you know, this has problems, or this has problems, or this might have these issues or whatever. And some people, they just naive, they don't care, they don't listen, um, or some people, they not even tapped in enough to even know that or hear that, so they just throwing stuff at different coins. And I think XRP being one of them probably was one of those coins out there that, same thing with Terra Luna, that was bought because of hype, or because of price being low, or whatever the case is, and people not understanding it, what's going on with it. So having that education, like we mentioned, and understanding the token, especially taking the time in a bear market to see what tokens you're buying, how they perceived in the world or by the SEC or whatnot. I think that's, again, that's very important to, in a bear market or any market, honestly, before buying any token or asset.
I think it's a good time to even get into crypto. Like,
I
if
think
imagine you was like somebody, like one of your homeboys that you've been talking to for mad long. Like, you think it's like, I don't know, because you know how shit is just going down and shit. It's talk that shit still might go down.
There's a way that you purchase crypto and the way it's going down. I definitely think when it's like everybody's running scared, the market's red, it's definitely a good time to get into crypto, but you got to be strategic and smart about it. You got $1,000 to put into crypto right now. Don't just dump the entire grand in at once. Like, put some feelers out. Put $100 in today and see how it looks a week later or a couple days from now. And if it drops even more, you can put a little more in and add to it. But especially if you don't know how to read technical analysis. But keep watching the news and watch for what's going on and focus on, one investment at this moment right now to see what's going on. I know people say don't put all your eggs in one basket, but if you don't know anything, it's good to just focus on one thing and learn that. Don't overwhelm yourself.
No, yeah, I think it's my fault. I just want to say, I think it's definitely how you are being presented, into crypto or the blockchain, and and as somebody that understands is how you promote it, because it's definitely different strategies. You can come into the space, and people say don't put in what you can't afford to lose. I probably said this before, but I hate that phrase, because it's like, if you get in the right information, you don't have to lose anything. It's just that most of us are aping into random projects, and then we selling at losses and things like that. But having somebody come into the space, based off my experience, I changed the way I promote to a newbie coming into the space. My angle is, go play with some stable coins first. Like, that's your savings account now. Now we're in a whole new form of finance, and then play with some of your blue chips. You guys know me. I'm more of a Bitcoin, Ethereum person. So, I'm telling them play with that, understand how that works and stuff like that. Then now you're playing with, you're on DeFi, and, now you're playing with some of that stuff and understanding how that works. So, and then, you could probably spread out your portfolio, picking a few tokens. You could come in that way, but read about, understand what you're buying, and if you're picking solid projects in different sectors, if you're picking like some solid L2s, it could be Cardano, it could be XRP, but if you're spreading it out where you're like, you probably have a higher portion than maybe stables because
Mm.
it's a bear market. Then you have a little bit, a little bit less than, your more of your blue chips. And then you have a small fraction for, your more speculative projects that are micro cap, but you probably definitely believe in the team or they've been around for a while. They just haven't moved much. So I guess it's just really different strategies when telling somebody to come in. But I mean, for right now, for you asking me, it's always a good time to get in. It's just how you come in and play the game. It's just I think that's key.
I just feel like
Yeah,
a lot of
don't.
people here, like, yo, oh, you can make money. I like what you said. I agree with that. The using it as a savings account, that's a good way to kind of introduce people into it without them having so much risk or whatever. But like a lot of people here, like, oh, you could do this and make money and make money, and that's kind of like where people imagination get the best of them in that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just feel like just like I do agree. Just cover your costs and things. Like, don't be like, if you don't be having like short term market gains and stuff to like, and you got to go pay the rent next month. That's not a sustainable strategy to do that. So whatever you could put from your paycheck and then put that in to like, a percentage of that just based on like just all right, this is how much I got left for the month or the week. Then you could just start kind of doing like recurring buys. Let's say you just spend like X amount of dollars every week in crypto, or that might be just so much more extra hours you trying to get for that purpose. Like you might work overtime just so I have a little side money, or do a side hustle like DoorDash to be like, okay, I want to try to get my crypto bag up. Let me make a couple side break, and I'll just use that only for that reason. So I just feel like just in this space, like one thing you're going to hear a lot is dollar cost averaging. Like that's one thing that you're going to hear a lot, and that's just basically just buying it as it goes down. Don't buy like a humongous mass of one supply of one coin in mass just because like you might buy it at 47 cents, but then if it go down to 40 cents next week, like you can start buying it at 47, go down to 45, buy a little bit more. If it goes down to like 42 cents, 39 cents, then you keep buying as it goes down just because you're getting as much as you can out of that dollar amount. So I would just say just be calculated in the way that you make your buys. So if it's a specific coin that you're looking at, then put in 10 to 15% on the first drop. If you see a drop maybe I don't know, 5 to 6 more cent, put another 10 to 15% in there. If you see a drop per percentage, you match the percent in which it's dropping. And I feel like that's a mistake that I made personally. Like I would buy all my crypto in mass. So just like if I see it just go down, then I buy like $300 worth. And I'm like, damn, like, and then it went down some more. And then like I try to like catch up or whatever, but I'm not getting the maximum amount of my dollar cost averaging. So that's like a mistake I made on repeat is repeatedly. So I would just say just do that. That would help a lot too.
Definitely. Like also to like start savings and stuff too. Like definitely working extra hours if you have to or something like that. But most importantly, like if this is something you're serious about and you really want to be serious about your investment portfolio, like take a look at your own personal expenses at the moment and see if you're spending money on bullshit and eliminate the bullshit. Start
Having that
sacrificing
budget.
what you yeah, oh yeah, yeah. But yeah, budget and sacrifice, start making sacrifices on things you don't need because you want to have a better life, you want to have a better portfolio, you want to have a better future. So like definitely start making those sacrifices now. It's going to make you a better person at the end of the day.
No, that's a fact. I mean, and we've had these off conversations before, but it's going to be the boring stuff that people don't want to do. Like we mentioned like budgeting, and that's something. I mean, and I don't believe budgeting is a thing that's boring or controls you. Again, you actually controlling what you got going on. And then you can make decisions after the fact. You figure out what you got left over. But it's going this if you want to be, make it well out of this bear market and do well in the next cycle, I believe is going to take a lot of sacrifice and some extra shit. It's going to take another person. Where we mentioned about maybe going to get an extra job or taking on more hours, Uber Eats, all the side hustles. Or just maybe you think about changing career. We're in a market right now where it's like they call it the great migration or whatever, where people are just resigning, great resignation, where people are just resigning because they know they have the opportunity to go find other gigs. So this might be the opportunity. You might look for something maybe in crypto, or just again an additional gig just to add more money because for this bear market to make it out of the bull market. And the dollar cost average, I think the best way to explain it is just like if you have a 401k. Your 401k is just doing it manual automatically. Dollar cost averaging, it's hard to do that because you have to do it manually. So I mean, unless you and it's easy when you have it on automatic. If you Coinbase or Robinhood, I mean, whatever the apps that does recurring buys for you, it's easy to go in there and shut that off. But at your job, it's like now you got to go to human resources and go through paperwork and or wait every quarter for the people to come around. That's harder. So people are more disciplined to keeping that in place. But I swear, I think if based off the just looking at the charts and historical, numbers from Bitcoin and the market in general, if people were like doing that same dollar cost averaging or investing to their 401k like they do, we're doing crypto. I mean, doing crypto like they were doing in 401k, I think people would be a lot well off. At least for myself, I'm gonna speak for myself. If I was to like stay consistent for 3-4 years straight from the last market, market bottom till now, definitely would be in good shape, even with the market crash and where it's at now, because we still haven't reached those, past cycle bottoms. But I think if people just follow that, especially in good projects, even if that was stable coins, based off where we're at now, it would be very lucrative for people.
Yeah, patience is key. Patience is key right now. Don't be sitting there thinking that, oh, I'm gonna buy in, it's all red, and then in a month or two I'm gonna be a millionaire. Not like real talk. Like when you're making your plan and your strategy, plan out for like a year to 2, even 5 years out. Like just plan it like you really making a legit investment. You're not at the casino. It's not lottery tickets or anything. This is legit investments. Have that. And if anything, if one of your investments do end up going to the moon, great. But you just want to make sure you're planning for realistic numbers. That's like you just don't do the whole I'm gonna be a millionaire in a week or two or something like that. You just setting yourself up for disappointment, and then you're gonna be like, oh, crypto is whack, and start flooding up the whole market.
And a lot of people come into the game doing that, and that's what that's what attracts them. They click on these gimmicks. Oh, I'm a millionaire overnight off of Bitcoin, shit like that. Yeah, I miss that wave. You know what I mean? So it's real research that has to be done, patience that needs to go into this, prioritize and budget for sure. Those would be my tips to people right now. For me, is the best time to accumulate. This is not financial advice, but for me, I like to accumulate around this time while the market's in red. But I also want to make sure that I'm keeping up with my budget. I'm not overspending. I'm not putting my rent money, like Stu said, I'm not putting my whole bag into one nest, Definitely still to this day doing research, reading up on some of my favorite coins, reading up on some coins that I'm thinking about investing in. It's a constant with crypto. Every day things are changing, ups and downs. So it's not just invest today, leave it alone. Yeah, you can do that, and that's cool. And I think people that do that are playing it safe. But you also want to keep an eye on where you have your money because you have it sitting there for a couple of months and oh shit, I didn't even realize my shit already done tanked. What happened? You know? So just be aware of what's going on at all times in the market, especially during the bear market.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like everybody here is bullish on the future of crypto and like the outlook of it. And I think that just I know budgeting, I know Jay and then K y'all mentioned that, and I just feel like with that, whether it's like a fun thing or whatever, I just feel like with budgeting, it's gonna take a level of sacrifice and like delayed gratification, and that's not what people want to hear. It's just like, oh well, I want to get the new car. I could realistically get the new car right now if I wanted to, but that new car payment that might be $400 or $500 a month is gonna lock me into my funds where I have no extra funds to invest in it. Do I have to drive the car that I currently got that's working well, that's running well, that takes me to work, takes me wherever I gotta be, and I have to wait until my investments come up to where I could buy that car off my investment. That's the mistake that people make. People just think they just because they got the funds to do it right now, it's a smart
Mhm.
investment move, and that's not always the case if you're looking from a long term outward look on your future. Like you're not looking 6 months or to a year in. You're trying to zoom out and look five years, 10 years down the line. How do I want to set myself up? And those are not popular conversations because everybody is just stuck on this where we at today crap. Okay, that's where I'm at today. Today, I'm not a millionaire. Today, I'm not those things. Today, I'm working this job that I might not necessarily like. Or today, my investments ain't blowing up. But that's cool. That's where we at today. But where you gonna be at 5 years from now? Those conversations and those things that you had to look at because that day will come. Like I do look at this crypto market as far as in the bull cycles is like graduating class. Like the people that became millionaires off this past bull cycle when Bitcoin hit almost 70K and hit like 60,000. It's like the people that was grinding in 2017, way before I came in, those people graduated in that bull cycle. That was like the equivalent of like a college, like the college class to sit your senior years. All right, everything that you've learned, everything that you prepared yourself for in those X amount of years, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4 years for the next cycle, that's prepared you. So now you're ready to graduate. Now you're ready to get the bag. The bag is coming. Like everything that you've been accumulating and preparing for, now that bag is here. And I feel like this is the time to, like I said, learn, not get stuck on where I'm at today, but where you gonna be like 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And I feel like people are gonna have to stop zooming in on their current life and zoom out and take an overall aspect and look at crypto. Like I'm very bullish on the future of crypto personally. Crypto is already like like a 20,000 hovering above 20,000 and like we have a less than like a $1 trillion market cap overall. Like once crypto hits like the market cap of gold, like 10 trillion, you can imagine like all these prices. Like Bitcoin is going to be like over 100K, 200, 300K. Ethereum is going to be 30, 40, 50, 60,000, $60,000, like life changing stuff. And I feel like that's what you have to keep locked in on is the future of crypto, like where we're going to go to just overall. And you wanting to be a part of that. That's what keeps me bullish personally.
If you're here for instant gratification, this might not be what crypto might not be for you, because it's in my personal experience, it's not something that you're going to get rich overnight. It's a patient waiting game. um and you gotta stick in there. You cannot get scared when the markets go down, and you can't always sell when the markets go up. So it's a real sticky game. So be patient, everybody. Hang in there, and keep doing your research, man. Keep doing your research.
I
Right.
really like that graduation analogy. I'm gonna be using that.
For real.
Yeah, facts.
But yeah, we've been talking about like what not to do and how to not lose money and stuff. What y'all working on like right now? What projects y'all on right now that's making y'all money in this bear market?
I ain't even gonna lie, my little one love account been kind of popping this year since
Yeah.
like January. Like I've been like I just went and bought the Ali shit yesterday, and I already made that money back that I spent on that shit. Like,
The marketplace open for that already?
nah, I ain't even sell my Ali's, just other shit I had sold. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like, so I guess like, so when them new projects happen, they bring in new people, and they want certain shit that's there. Like,
that's that eBay.
whatever, keep them coming. Like, as long as my shit been selling like that, like I was complaining until like January, I wasn't getting no money on that, and then it just like shit just started. I ain't like fucking making thousands, but I done made some money on that shit compared to a lot of other shit right now that I have bought.
I mean, you say you made money back. That's over 100% right there. So
Well, that's
that's
a
good
fact.
money right there.
Yeah. I actually been playing with they money from the beginning, like because of one of the I sold the day zero when I first got on their website. That shit was up from there, but
Do
yeah,
think that yeah, definitely like I do think that NFTs is a good way to like move right now too. But it like focusing on like NFTs like one of and even Royal because that's like my latest obsession now too. Like I've been like I have a few assets and like staking platforms that pay out the passive, but like you said that like we've been talking about the market is down, so those coins are being devalued at this point. So it's good to find like if you are like I said, if you know experience to be able to move your assets into assets that are growing. And NFTs, if you are in projects and you see some NFTs that are well projects with NFTs that are growing, that's a good place to be able to put your money in as well too. Because I know with Royal, I wish I bought more of some of these NFTs that I have. There was a drop today at like 5 o'clock for Royce the 5'9" featuring Eminem for
mm,
their things, and it's already on OpenSea and it's already twice double what it was what and during the drop. I actually was lucky enough to get one in the drop. It was like I think they're $78, so around $80 for the drop. So now they around $160 right now on OpenSea. A
mm,
lot of them, like even like they had one that was a free drop a couple weeks ago with the chain smokers, and right now that's going for like $150 right now, just for
okay,
that. And I had bought it about a week ago for just $100, and so I could have been making like an extra $50 so off of that. So like that's around 70% if I had flipped that.
mm.
So it's just
Definitely
finding
some moves to
aspects
be made out here.
yeah, finding ways to be able to move your money into assets that are growing is a good move. And NFTs, I definitely am bullish on NFTs during the bear market.
Facts.
Yeah, I think if you're able to find like those nice little gems, like the alpha we right now giving to the audience, it's definitely some money to be made. But it's very hard. You got to know
I be
where to
careful.
find it at because overall NFT space, metaverse space, play to earn space, all down.
Do your
Um,
research.
so you gotta definitely do your research and be in the community that'll be able to tell you like, all right, everything is down, everything is bullshit. But
Or
here is, it's money over here. Like, I just came off of a AMA and they were talking about play to earn games and there weren't really many play to earn games to talk about and the lady came up and she was showing another project that's anticipated to come out and it might do this and do that. But that's where we're at in the space. I mean, you have a handful of games that do work. Like I'm a fan of Upland. That's a real estate game.
mm-hmm.
One if you're not into real estate or if you're not going to be into racing, when they come out with that in the future, or just into that whole aspect of flipping, then it probably might not be for you. But I've since you asked what have we been doing and keeping afloat. Upland is one of my favorites.
mm,
When I had to look at my entire portfolio, no matter if it was DeFi or regular coins or NFTs, other NFTs. You know, Upland has probably done the best for me, and that's just mainly staking. You know, with holding properties and collecting that that staking token or so to speak rent or whatever. And plus, you get your flips every now and then if you got prices of homes up for sale. So I think because they have that stable coin, I think that's why they remain one of the top games in the space. But I think other games they're slowly but surely figuring it out. It just has so many different niches out there. People is finding it hard to find like their favorite type of game that is actually doing a decent like play to earn model. But I mean, right now, I mean, being that it's a bear market, and if we're talking to if I'm talking to newbies, I'm, I'm real wary about promoting anything. Even a little bit about Upland, unless it's something super sweet about it going on, because they can come out with their next drop and it doesn't go anywhere. So I mean, like they don't sell any properties potentially. I doubt that happens, but that could happen. So just telling people be careful.
It's not
Maybe
financial advice.
definitely, um, definitely look at stuff and educate yourself on a lot of these platforms.
Yeah, I think just it all goes back to like expanding your knowledge like in the space. I know personally, like when I got into crypto, like I was just only buying the coins. That's all I was doing. It was just kind of buying the coins and then hoping the price would go up. If I buy so much coins, if it gets to this price, that was really my only strategy initially coming in. But then as I begin to get more bullish in crypto, now I'm seeing all these avenues and ecosystems, opportunities within crypto, all these different niches, whether it is NFTs, music NFTs, play to earn, um, DeFi, staking, like there's so many other like niches within crypto that you can make money in. And that also just goes back into expanding your knowledge base. Um, I feel like that's what goes and ties into like the whole process. I know me personally, I've been focusing on play to earn gaming. I know Jay had mentioned Upland. I know I'm deep into like first person shooters like EV, kind of like a Halo feel. But that's like what I'm personally into. I know I'm supposed to get my first payout this week, depending on like just how much I made, just off the strength of just me being better than the other player and gunning him down and just getting paid to kill. So it's like those aspects of it. That's always something that I wanted to have is get paid for my leisure time. So I'm trying to work in ways where it's going to allow me to monetize my leisure time. So I would just say, of course, like initially for like a beginner, this might all sound like overwhelming. And I know this has been repeated. I'm gonna say it again. None of this is financial advice, but I am saying that this is your time to learn in those aspects just because like if you get into an upland or you get into a one of or you get into a royal or you get into an ev or any of these other ecosystems or opportunities, if you get in early, then that's also going to be another bag within the bull cycle. Oh wow, I got this royal music NFT, I got it for $50. Now that joint is paying me like X amount of dollars every single month. So that $50 is now worth 500 in a bull cycle. So it's just kind of like that. So just going beyond just me buying coins on the Coinbase and the crypto.com, this is your time to like expand your knowledge and like certain things like that. So
I agree. Take a trip down the crypto rabbit hole.
yeah,
Go get lost in this shit real quick, man. Trust me, it'll be time well spent.
yeah.
Definitely, you're gonna be a crypt. Well, getting into NFTs, you definitely will become an addict. So be careful.
Yeah, for sure. I know Crypto K, she had to bounce and everything, but just appreciate her for the time that she was in. But did anybody have any like last thoughts on just the bear market, anything, any tips, outlooks, predictions, future in general?
I'm just hoping that we getting got a different kind of market at the end of the year. By the end of the year, I'll say like that's all. Right now it's cool. Do whatever. I'm stacking up. I'm DCA, and so I'm just gonna get my bag up until the market turn around.
Yeah, same here. Just stacking up on my main investment with tokens uh and my Royal NFTs, and just continuing to study the market. Like we saying study the market to beginners, like even as when you become an expert and intermediates, like continue studying market, because that's what I'm doing. I'm still studying the market because it's always changing. It's still new. So and now is the perfect time. Study the charts and stuff. Just look at, just even if you're just sitting there watching it, just move between the time frames and just keep watching it and look for patterns, so that you know, like even from a year from now you already know, like, all right, when this is happening, this coin goes down, or when this is happening, I know it's going to go up, so I'm not going to buy right now because I know it's going to come back down to here. Is this, that's how you get to know it. These people that study these charts, they don't get to know these charts, they don't learn all this information over a week. It's years that they spent watching this stuff. So do the same so that you can be an expert with your own portfolio, and you don't have to be sitting there chasing the word off of some random that's probably going to disappear when the market gets red again.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah, two more things. Sorry, yeah, because Jay just reminded me. When we're looking at charts, you use look at real charts, and when I say real charts, things that show you more detail. So TradingView is a really great app to have in your arsenal to be able to look at charts. CoinMarketCap, yeah, to just look at something briefly, but you're not going to get the real data that you need to really look at, zoom in and zoom out like Jay is telling you specifically. TradingView is definitely a great app to have with that. And then also, when you're investing, like find projects that you like, because you don't want to invest in something just because you see somebody getting a bag off of it, because you're not going to follow it. You're not going to join the community to sit there and follow what's the updates and everything. You're going to miss out on stuff and just mess with your stuff up. Like the crypto space is so massive that there's something there for everybody. It's literally like a social network, and you that you can invest in. So just like find what you like. Like Shays is investing in one of, he loves the sports NFTs in there. uh Jay loves real estate, that's why he's bullish on Upland. Stu loves like gaming, and that's why he's bullish with EV. I love music, and my background is music, so I really love like royal NFTs, especially with the royalty payouts, and I get to study music and the music industry. So like look at what you into, and just explore the space and have fun with it, because that's really what it's meant for at the end of the day too. Not just getting a bag, but make sure you enjoying yourself too.
Yeah, facts. Definitely. I feel like we definitely covered, the bear market, and there's a lot of information and tips to pull from this. And even if you don't get it all in one time, you can also hit that replay button or just go back to certain segments if you resonated with somebody that speaks. And make sure you just subscribe to our channel, follow us on like all networks and everything. I know we're in the process of getting on Spotify and just other networks, and then also come fuck with us on the Discord. But with that being said, if there's no other marks or no any comments people want to give in, I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. We are the Posted on the Block podcast. We cover things all blockchain, metaverse, NFTs, money making opportunities in the space. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.